and I hope you're ready. The Paleteros beat the Sharpshooters 6-3 in their matchup. The other story to come out of this game, though, is both the hitter and the pitcher of the week came out of this matchup. Yes, the pitcher of the week belonged to the Sharpshooters. It is none other than Dan Herron. Herron had 17 innings pitched, had a 1.59 ERA, a .53 WHIP. He had 2 quality starts and 2 wins, and had 21 Ks. It's a pretty impressive pitching performance out of the Sharpshooters. The hitter of the week, meanwhile, belonged to the Paleteros, Raul Ibanez. Ibanez batted .500, had 5 runs, 9 ribbies, 3 walks, and 20 total bases. The real story here is the fact that the runner-up to the hitter of the week is the runner-up due to circumstances we could not control. Yes, Adam Jones could have been the hitter of the week, batting .370 with 8 runs and 17 total bases and, a walk and 2 ribbies and 2 stolen bases. He did pretty well. He was up there. But, he's sleeping in his picture. And I just couldn't stand to give him the hitter of the week, so we de facto gave it to Raul Ibanez. So I'm just throwing it out there that maybe if Adam Jones cleans up his act, I could stomach, giving him an award. So, yeah.
The matchup of the week was a hard-fought battle in which the Phoenix Foundation defeated the Thunderbolts 7-1. They retained their hardcore title by having more runs and ribbies than the Thunderbolts, and they also find themselves firmly in first place after this big victory. Wait. Thunder. Aren't the Thunderbolts your team? Why do you still breathe? How can I continue to support you while you should be hanging your head in shame?
Thanks a lot, computer. Alright, it was a lot closer than it looked at the end. Alright, I was in there. And why do you continue to have an opinion? You're just supposed to read the scores. And, no wonder why it was so damn cheap. The matchup of the week for next week is going to be the Sharpshooters against the Hooligans. Yes, the Battle of Bridgeport was finally going to culminate in their first seasonal matchup, only for us to find that the Bandits have relocated to Humboldt Park, and this is no longer an inner-city rivalry. Nonetheless, it's still a lot of bad blood between these two teams. Now let's get to the emails.
Turn it up!
That was interesting.
Turn it up!
Our first email is from the owner of the Bridgeport Sharpshooters, Oscar, and it had this to say. At this time, the Sharpshooter organization would just like to say that we're glad someone finally cleaned up all those bandit carcasses left behind after the Bridgeport takeover this past basketball season. We would just like to remind all of you that when you mess with the Sharpshooters, as the bandits, hooligans did, then you need to duck and cover. The Armenians may want to stay out of range after taking advantage of a weakened offense and stealing the X Division title from us. We would also like to remind you that we are here if any other questions do arise. Yes, thank you, Oscar, for sending the first official email to the WCW Fantasy Report. So we finally received a few emails here at the WCW Fantasy Report, but please remember to send your emails in, and that email address is wcwfantasyreport@gmail.com. Computer, can you say it for me one time?
Yes, I would enjoy that. Please send your electronic mail messages to thunderisabigBitch@thundersmomshouse.gov. Oh. Sorry, I had the wrong address. The correct address is wcwfantasyreport@gmail.com.
Yeah, exactly. We also had an exclusive interview with CJ, the owner of the Armenians. He reportedly demanded a fantasy cookie for Aaron Hill. If we give in to your demands, we'll have to give in to all the demands of all the other owners. And we at the WCW Fantasy Report do not give in to terrorist demands, or the demands of Armenians, or Asians. No, instead, we feel that every team has made at least one good move in free agency. Thus, we'll be awarding one fantasy cookie to everybody. And since that negates itself, we just aren't going to award any.
I would also enjoy a cookie. I hear they are quite delicious. However, I have made no moves this year, but seeing as though I am a computer and cannot move without assistance, I should be awarded a fantasy cookie for putting up with all your shit.
No, computers cannot eat cookies. We have to go to one more quick break before we bring you the finish of the WCW Fantasy Report. Please stay tuned.